Good morning, everybody. Ah, the only kind of spider I want to hang out next to. Special thanks to Kelly and Kathy for sending me this awesome garden spider. We love it. Hi, everybody. It's Misty from the Suburban Edge, and I'm out in the garden today to give you an update on my garlic experiment. Now, as you know, in the fall, I planted a bunch of different types of garlic. I wanted to see, first of all, which method worked better: raised beds or garlic in the ground. I planted 2 varieties in one raised bed and 1 variety in the second raised bed, and this is where I want to discuss what's going on with my raised bed garlic. Recently we experienced about a week of just rain, and a couple of those days torrential rain with wind. And we had some garlic fall over, which is totally normal when there's severe weather. Most of the healthy garlic bounced back. Some of the garlic, I don't know what's happening. Let me show you. The reason I planted so many types of garlic in 2 different methods is because I wanted to see what worked best for me. This garlic bed here only has 1 type of garlic in it. It's called Music, and it worked really well for me last year. And you can see the garlic scapes are now coming up. And that's a good indicator that I need to trim them off. I don't wait for them to loop because there's been a lot of evidence that shows that the sooner you cut off the scapes, the more the plant will put the energy into the bulb. So I don't want my plants to be putting energy into building these seed pods. And these are edible. And I see they're all starting to come up, and it's time to start harvesting those. But when I came out to harvest my scapes, I noticed a problem. Not with my Music, because what you're looking for in your garlic is this: thick, sturdy stalks. Really healthy green color, deep green color. Now you can see some of my bottom leaves are starting to turn brown. That's okay. I knocked this guy over with the garden hose. I'm hoping he'll bounce back. I have a problem bed, and it's this one. If you can see in the front, I've planted some nice sturdy garlic, and this is called Early Italian. And it does mature a little earlier. You should be able to get some nice garlic a few weeks before you have to do your main harvest. And it's kind of looking that way. The bottom leaves are starting to die off, and the scapes are coming. So, that makes sense. What doesn't make sense is the garlic I planted behind. Let me show you. This is my Early Italian. Really looking good, nice and sturdy. But if you look behind there, these are my China Stripe. They've all fallen down. This garlic is the only garlic that I bought at a farmer's market. I don't know much about it, and I didn't get much information from the farmer that sold it to me. It's called China Stripe, and I was pretty excited to grow it, but it's all fallen over in different directions. I've done a lot of research, and here's 7 reasons why that might be happening. Okay, there's a little wind tunnel here. There's our summer house right there, and then this is our shop. The wind comes whipping through this little tunnel, and it caused a lot of garlic to fall over. But notice this Music didn't fall over. So even though I think the weather did do a number on my China Stripe, I don't think I can blame the weather. The second reason my China Stripe fell down could be, I gotta find my list, could be disease. Now, I don't know if you remember, oh, holy crap, that scared them. Okay, it's just a stick, everybody. It's gonna be okay. If you remember in the fall, I soaked all of the cloves I was going to plant in a hydrogen peroxide water solution. And ready to go, I'm just going to pop them in this solution. That's it. Start your timer for 10 minutes, and when they're done, you pull them out. So I don't think that the stalk itself was diseased, but maybe the soil is diseased? Well, can't be true. And the reason is because these would also, the Early Italian would also be showing the same flopping over signs of disease. I'm not getting that. So I don't know what's happened. You see this guy? He fell down and he's trying to get back up. So it could have been the weather. Not sure. The third one could be that it's time to harvest. Usually the first 4 leaves from the bottom would turn yellow. They're just now setting some scape. Usually you harvest about 4 to 5 weeks after the scapes have come up. I don't think it's time to harvest. I'll dig one up at the end and we'll take a look at it. I'm still kind of leaning toward weather. The fourth one is under fertilized. Yeah, I don't think so. As you remember, I amended this soil like crazy. I dug all the soil out of these beds. I put in copious amounts of worm castings. I put in compost, and I put in a 10-10-10 slow release fertilizer. These beds were fed. And not only that, but I also applied a fish fertilizer 2 times after the spring started. So plenty of fertilizer. And after the scapes come up, you do not want to fertilize anymore. So even if it was a fertilizer problem, there's nothing I can do about it at this point. Number 5 is not enough sunlight. Now, I thought it was going to be okay to sort of crowd in 3 rows. They could be crowded, but also if you notice that these guys are in the back row and the sunlight comes, I'll show you. The sun is rising, so that's the east, and it comes across the sky like this. Well, what that means for the garlic is that these guys are in the back row. They're getting a lot of heat from the building and maybe some reflected light from the building, but they could actually be being shaded by the early Italians in the front. It's a possibility. All right, and then the last thing could be that under or over watering. So you don't put garlic on a water timer. You water garlic as you need to water it. Now, like I said, about 3 days ago ended a torrential rainstorm that lasted almost a week. So I haven't watered, but I can check just by, you can use a moisture meter, but I do it the old-fashioned way. You just stick your index finger in the dirt and check it. The soil is moist enough. It's not bone dry, but it's also not soggy. That's perfectly moist soil. I don't know what to tell you. Maybe China Stripe isn't my variety. I'm going to go get some tools and I'm going to dig one up and we're just going to take a look at what's happening underground. Have you ever grown China Stripe garlic? If so, what was your luck like? Are they just fussy? I don't know. Maybe it would have done better in the ground. Comment down below. I would love to hear from you, and I'd love to hear what you think caused just this one variety to go haywire. Now again, I bought it from a farmer's market, and it could have been like bad stock to begin with. It's trying to bounce back. I can see that. Now, if you pull up your garlic early before the paper has a time to set, you can still eat it, but it will not store. Well, I don't have that many plants. I have 7 China Stripes, so it's kind of sad to pull one up early. I'm not going to pull this one because it's trying to bounce back. This one I am going to pull because it looks weak and a little damaged. So the best way to pull up garlic is to kind of loosen the soil around where you think the bulb is. And then I like to just get my hand under there and pull it out. This bulb isn't ready. It looks like the cloves are just forming. The stem is a little spongy, but better than I expected. My intuition tells me a couple of things about the China Stripe. I think where it suffered was location from the storm that came through, and also I don't think it's getting the sun it needs. If I were to plant China Stripe again, I would plant it in the ground or in a raised bed that I know was a little more sheltered but got way more sunlight. This isn't terrible for being early June. It's the first week of June, but you can see that it's definitely got a weak stem. It looks like it's in the proper developing stages, but look how wimpy and weak that stem is. I feel like I planted too many garlics in that small raised bed. Let me know if you agree. I feel like it's not getting enough sun because the garlic in front of it is stronger and stouter and kind of filtering the sunlight. Let me know in the comments if you agree with that. And it might not be a variety that grows very well around here. Let me know if you agree about that. Our garlic gardening journey continues, and I will keep posting updates as it stands. I'm going to leave the China garlic in this bed until I feel like it's time to truly harvest it, and I'll be back to let you know how that goes. Thanks for hanging in. There's been a lot of breaks. I don't know if you know this, but I was helping with my kids' school play. That set my gardening way behind. I am behind getting everything in, so I've just been scrambling trying to get the straw bales planted and get my little guys going. I will be back with a bean report when they are a little bit bigger, but I'm pretty excited about my bean gardening this year. But as always, I love you guys so much. Thank you for continuing to hang in there with me during my breaks. Now that the play's over, I think I can get back on a regular YouTube schedule. Thank you for subscribing and commenting and hitting the like button. It helps this channel grow so much. Signing off. I got stuff to do. I gotta collect all my scapes and plan a meal for this guy. Here's more gardening videos. If you missed the first or second garlic video, I'm gonna post them right there. Bye.